Welcome back to Fast Gear. Today we're diving into episode 4 of our 2015 Lamborghini Huracan V10 engine swap series. And it's that moment we've all been waiting for, removing the heart of this beast. This is no ordinary engine pull. Precision, patience, and the right tools are key when working on a high-performance machine like this. We'll walk you through the entire process from disconnecting essential components to safely lifting out that monstrous V10. So, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get to work. The next step is to remove all the zip ties that are holding the vacuum line and are attached to the wires. Now let's go ahead and cover the box. Doing this, we can avoid any damage to the wires. Carefully install a few screws just to make sure the box stays closed. Once you cover the box, just place it aside and continue removing the X-brace. Now, due to access, we need to use an open wrench to remove this bolt on the side. Once you remove this bolt, do the same on the opposite side. Now we can go ahead and pull the part up. Make sure all the wires and everything attached to the X-brace is being checked. Now we have access to the transmission. First, install the transmission support underneath the transmission and then remove the two lower bolts. Next, remove the bolts attached to the transmission mounts. The next step will be to remove the CV axles. Remember to keep some fasteners on the transmission mounts. To be safe, with an extension, you can reach on the quarter panel to access the bolts for the CV. Remove them one by one. I recommend using a swivel to help with the angle while getting the bolts out. Turn the drive shaft to the opposite side to gain access. Let's turn the CV axle one more time. That's the last bolt. Now we're going to grab the CV and pull it out to separate it from the transmission. Make sure you place the bolt in a safe place. Let's do the same operation on the other side. You can also disconnect or remove the dust cover from the CV axle after the CV is removed, or you can do it before. Keep in mind that you have to make sure the socket is in the right place before you apply torque to remove the fastener. Now we go back and continue removing the transmission mount. We're going to remove this bolt attached to the lower section of the transmission mount. Now we are going to remove the bolts on the upper side. Don't forget to support the transmission. There you go, the part is out. Now we can see the transmission is ready to go down. Don't forget to always inspect the area to make sure all the parts and wires are being removed before you attempt to remove this transmission. In this case, we use a strap to ensure that the transmission doesn't slip or fall from the platform. Now let's remove the transmission from the engine. To do this, we use a wedge to separate the transmission from the engine. For demonstration, we're going to use a flat screwdriver just to show the movement of the transmission. As you can see in the video, the transmission is already loose. Don't try to do this operation with a tool that can cause damage. Be extremely careful when working around the transmission. Take the time to make sure it's clear. Slowly lower it down. Try to do this job with two mechanics. One can inspect the upper side, ensuring everything is clear and loose, and the other mechanic can verify the bottom side is clear and loose as well. The transmission is off the vehicle. As we mentioned in episode 2, this transmission has oil leaks and will need to be repaired. So we're going to take this transmission to the table to start working on it. The next step is to remove the flywheel. Remove it one by one. As you can see, there's a dot on the flywheel with the pilot hold that shows you the direction of the flywheel at the moment of the installation. Next, we'll remove the drive shaft underneath the car. Once the transmission is removed, the shaft will move freely, allowing you to turn it around. We're going to remove a clamp that's on the upper side of the engine. To get access to that clamp, we need a special tool. We're going to use the clamp removal tool. We have to remove the oil tubes from the engine. Once they're removed from the engine, should stay in the car.
No, está bien ahí, a ver. Porque iba para arriba, estaba bien.
The next step is to remove the engine mount screws. Our next step is to adjust the vehicle height in order to gain access to remove the engine with the crane. The next step will be to install the crane to remove the engine. Now the crane is installed to pull the engine out. As you can see, we have to adjust the angle of the engine to avoid hitting the frame. The rear section of the engine has to be facing down to be removed without hitting the frame. Take the time to make sure everything around the engine has been removed. Every connector has been disconnected, and there are no remaining lines attached to the engine before you remove it. Slowly pull the engine up a little at a time. Once the engine is halfway off, you need to pull it back slowly to stay away from the glass. As we can see, the engine is off. Don't forget to raise the engine high enough to clear the vehicle when you pull it back. Slowly and carefully pull the engine back, and the job is done. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.